Drink and enjoy.
Hello, my name is Daniel. I do the silly sounds down the microphones. I also play guitar, just about good enough, and most other things to do with sending people merch. Sorry about that. That's me. L.
Yeah, I'm Elliot. I play the B-Tech guitar, and sometimes I write lyrics that don't get used yet because we have a lot of backlogs to get through.
For future reference, by the way, we will be calling the guy called Anthony Longworth Scouse Dave. Keep up, there will be a test at the end.
Yeah, so I'm Scouse Dave. I'm the drummer, and to be honest, that's about it. I'm literally just the drummer. That's all I do. I don't do anything else. But it's great. It's quality.
I nag him down the phone at 4 a.m. and go, dude, I got such an idea. And he was
yeah. No, I have been known to do that. Or if anyone wants any garlic and herb dip, like just message me on Facebook.
Oh no, I'll take that.
Cool.
Hey, shut up. You need to leave. Go away.
Ant's cat. There's Ant's cat. His name's Chip.
Yeah. Yeah. On to me. I play Freddy guitar. My name is Anthony Capitano.
Yes, that him. That be man.
That be me, Catman.
Catman.
Right, brilliant. Well, guys, if you just want to start with, telling us a little bit about the history of the band. Obviously, you go back quite a way now for such young guys. You just want to start.
It's probably best if either Anthony or Dan start with the actual history of the band.
Yeah.
You haven't been
Dan's memory is better than mine as well, so
yeah.
For this exclusively, anything beyond this, my memory is fucking awful. So basically, TLDR in the first 8 years, we had a lot of lineup changes with a lot of good people, and we basically spent the first 8 years going, wow, let's learn how not to do things, because we were pretty incompetent outside of the musical stuff and being able to hold our own, like, socially, just about. We started when we were 14. Anthony and I have known each other since, like, literally we can, as far back as we can possibly remember. We started playing guitar together in the attic, and we eventually made a band up, called it Reaper, because cool, edgy name 14-year-olds make that somehow managed to sound actually semi-decent. And then carried on up until present day, where the band properly started off. We released our album Birth of Chaos May 5th, 2018. At that point, we had various credentials spread across the disc, and that was kind of like an old school thrash sort of deal, which is what we started off as. And we kind of got bored of that genre just because we felt we were very limited by it. Enter the two guys here, Al and Scouse Dave, and this current lineup has moved more towards a progressive and heavier sort of outlet, but still keeping thrash roots to what we're known for. We've played Liverpool for a really long time. We played across the UK for a really long time, but we're starting to actually like get a semblance of a clue on what the hell we're supposed to be doing now. Very recently, we released an album called Stranger Than Fiction in October. It went down really, really well, which we're very happy about. We're moving into some other projects this year that we will be discussing at a later date. And in the meantime, we are just kind of vibing and doing our own thing. Across lockdown, we kept up with a Twitch account and just made, a bit more of an online community. Pandemic was very strange for us, and that's about the gist of it. That's the short version, by the way.
That's the very short version. You didn't go through the previous members we've met and things like that. But Stranger Than Fiction, when you look at it, you can see the change for you guys, to be honest, because it's you've got the thrash in there, but the progressive rock and the classic rock, you can see it through the different tracks. I mean, it was originally supposed to be an EP, wasn't it, before lockdown?
Yes, sir, it was.
It was, yeah.
And
it was
progressed to the album. So did you plan to try and get all of your influences within the album? Did you see what I mean?
I mean, and you're probably Scouse Dave. Sorry, you're probably best at answering this because I think we pretty much just turned it into an album because we all just wrote too many songs.
To be fair, yeah, that's mainly the truth. There's not really much else to add to it. It was supposed to be an EP. I think we were going to do 3 or 4 tracks, and it got to a point where we've written so much stuff like not even like full songs. We just had like loads of different like riff ideas and like drum ideas. Elliot had loads of bass ideas and whatnot. Everyone had come in with something that was completely different to what everyone else had brought in. And we were like, what in the world are we going to do with all this stuff? Like, because we can't put it, we've got like other things that we're working on, but we know that it wouldn't fit into any of that. So we were like, well, how are we going to like work this out? And one of the tunes that like came from all of that was Walk the Sky, where we literally just got loads of different riffs and just went bang, let's smash all of them together and hope to God that it works. And yeah, like funnily, like weirdly enough, it actually did work. But yeah, there was just a lot more than what we'd originally planned. Yeah, it was supposed to be an EP, but I'm made up that it ended up turning into an album purely for the fact that like.
So we.
It's more.
Yeah.
Well, it's more of like an achievement. Like I'd say it as, because like with all of the stuff that we had to go through at the time, like it was very difficult to be able to pull off something that we've done. So I was, I'm made up that we've actually been able to do it.
Especially through the pandemic, like
when
we were
like,
trying to get Elliot's bass takes down, like it was down to the wire with a lot of like everyone's stuff. Elliot brought in the ideas for Upon the Sun, and I remember sitting down and listening to that, and we were like, this could be great as a basic song, or it could be fantastic if we just insert a ton of crazy shit in the middle. And I think it's some of the stronger riffs that were brought to the album by El. But El, I mean, for you, this was interesting.
Well, was it the whole process?
Yeah, the whole thing was just bizarre.
Yeah, I'd say it was. Yeah, it was just really weird. Like the whole process itself, it wasn't like anything I've ever done before. Not anything any of us have done before, really, because it was so disjointed. Like I didn't see Anthony from the last gig we did before lockdown until after the album was released. Like so we were all in different rooms, all recording separately and piecing it together. Because all I got the previous like singles we've done, like well, the one that's out will be Death Games. We recorded that one in a mostly live band way, so it was interesting doing it like this.
Yeah, and then when it came to Cap, when it came to Anthony there, oh man, your stuff was literally like done down to the wire in terms of timing, because Flight was written between me and Ant, and it was the first song me and him actually actively sat down to write together, and it was a great experience. But we were also like, man, we are on the clock, and Ant's a key worker, so I mean, for you, it was mad, wasn't it, man?
Yeah, it was non-stop, like legit. Last year it burnt me out so hard that like the only motivation I had was the album. So every time that it came to like having 3 days and 3 weeks, as soon as it was getting to that album, I was putting like 200%, and it was so fun to like hear the end of it all, and then everyone coming together, because it was cool, to be fair, listening to everyone's parts come in here and there. Considering that like me being so busy, I wasn't able to like take part too much in terms of like being there to record or mix or like throw ideas in. So it was different for me, but at the same time, it was really exciting to hear everyone's parts really come through and flourish. It was sick.
Yeah.
So when you actually got hold of that album, you know, when you actually got the final copy, was that the first time you'd all heard everything together?
Not quite.
Together?
We had like I mean, when we all heard it together, because like Scouse Dave and I like had a lot of time to move between us, because Elliot at the same time was applying for masters, as well as like we were all just very much. I was able to spend a lot of time with Scouse Dave because me and him were both basically either working from home or not working at all. So we were able to kind of front run a lot of the stuff. So me and him were hearing it like as it was being produced, but the first time it was collectively listened to, it was me, Elliot, and Anthony. We had it in a Twitch stream and we all listened back to it then between me, Elliot, and Ant. I think SD was in work at that point because bars were back open then, but he was still able to like passively listen to it like in there. But me and him were like listening to it as it was being made. So
yeah, I'd already heard most of it as that Twitch stream was happening. Like I'd already heard most of the mixes anyway, so it was like, yeah, I need to go make some money now. Like, so I went and did that for the day.
It was a very, very emotionally rewarding experience, knowing that like we came from probably the worst year that we're likely to see in our living memory, and being able to have produced something. So, I mean, I don't think it's arrogant of me to say I love that album to pieces. I am so proud of it. And listening back to it, it was just like, we actually made this in like 5 months. What? it was awesome. It was a really rewarding experience to know that like this is the go. This is
How long-
like the actual shot.
Man, how long did the first album take to make again?
I don't want to talk about it.
I mean,
it was a while, as I recall.
I've been watching you guys for a long time, since it's, you know, back in the first Mosh Against Cancer you played for us in the low max and stuff, and the difference in the last couple of years, because to me you've actually gone from being excited little kids who could play to actually being grown up, fully functional men in a band. And I think that comes across not just in the album, but also last time I saw you live as well. So to actually hear that album out full, it's like, to me, it's like seeing you growing up, and that's like the product that's come out of you.
Oh, Dad! Oh, it's awesome, man. And like, of all the people to like gauge our growth as a project, you're probably one of the best people to gauge it, because like you watched this since day one, like a long time ago. And for us, it's very surreal to hear a lot of people talking about this as if it's like two entirely different projects, but it's very cool. It's extremely rewarding. I mean, you know, Anthony and I did this as weird 14-year-old kids kind of fumbling about with decent music, and now we're like the four of us, which is a really lovely experience.
Right, so you've talked a lot about the stuff you're doing on Twitch. Now, how the as we discussed a little bit earlier, I'm a proper old man. I haven't got a clue what Twitch is or anything like that. Just you know, tell us a little bit about that and what we can see going forward, and what you got coming up on there.
The main thing about the Twitch page is that it's just kind of like an area where people can congregate, because like, you know, the lockdown's hard enough without having something to be able to sit back and watch with. And we like to kind of just bring people into a space where it's like, do you want to just come here and watch us play some video games, talk about the band, ask some questions, talk to us about what's going on with ourselves. The four of us would sometimes be able to jump into these Tuesday talk things, predominantly me and Elliot, and that's I birthed some pretty hilarious moments that have been clipped since. Yeah, I think the main thing is the thing we regret about 2020 most with the Twitch page was just the fact that so many of our schedules conflicted, so that all four of us couldn't meet as much as we wanted to. But generally speaking, it's just an area where people can go hang out. If they want to subscribe for some extra content, they can subscribe for that. But for the time being, it's mainly just stupid emojis and, you know, fun bits. Yeah, sorry, Al, go ahead.
Yeah, it was kind of a way of keeping in contact with people, because I guess as a band, something you need to do is keep yourself and people's attention. And without being able to gig or do that much, and at the start of the whole thing when we started it, not having the album done yet, we needed a way to keep in contact with people, you know, keep ourselves out there. So it was just a nice way of initially talking about music, and then later on developing into, just as Dan said, being a nice little chat space just to like kind of get to know and hang out with people who were into the music. And we ended up actually bringing people in who just happened to stumble across our channel. And so they showed up, stayed for the stupid game stuff, and stayed further for the music when they found it, which was actually really nice to see. We could bring people in a different way like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, so during lockdown, obviously you've got your album out and things like that. So what have you got planned? Well, basically, what's next? What's coming up next?
What I will say is we've got a lot of things to tie off, and we can't say exactly what it is. We've got the right people working for it. We're really excited to be moving on with it. But the main problem we've got is like, we have another album's worth of material after this that we've been talking about for like over a year and a half, possibly 2 years now. Which was originally meant to be the second album and is now going to be the third. And it's gargantuan. The project's going to be massive. But we've got something before that we're working on the sly that we'll be showing people in due course. I don't think we could talk about it properly just yet, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Get off the stage.
Well, if you guys want to know more about it, you can always hit us up on our socials and go to linktr.ee/ReaperUK and find all of our links and socials.
Oh, there you go. So, with regards to like live streams and stuff like that, you're planning on putting a show together or anything like that before lockdown finishes, or are we gonna have to wait until it's all gone to see you live?
Probably
Well,
wait. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think we
I'd
have
say
any
probably
plans.
wait. Yeah, I'd say so too. And I think it's because we would actually I'm not sure whether or not we're all right to pass it over because a pal of ours is handling it, and I don't want to pressure them to put it out just yet. But we were speaking with someone about this actually, and sums this up pretty well. For as much as it's a great way to connect with people, it's so alien to us. We need that live energy to be able to properly go. Wait, but and do you want to like talk about your idea, like your kind of perspective on the online shows?
On the online shows, I don't know. Like I can't remember what I said last time about online shows. I feel like it's different because it's not the same. You don't actually have people there, do you? So there's no energy, and I feel like, in my perspective, I really feed off of the crowd. Like I really like whenever I'm playing solos or doing anything, I feel like the band that we have feeds off of the crowd, so we create this interaction by playing what we play with the crowd. There's no other way to explain it better than that.
Yeah, it's that kind of physical interaction that we have. A very kind of, because I mean, you guys have seen us live enough. I run around the stage like a lunatic. Not having the vessel to be able to do that's really bizarre, and I don't think we'd be able to convey it well enough. Plus, we've got more than enough stuff to be working on in the meantime. So I don't think you'll be missing us, is what I'm going to say. But when it comes to the live performance, I think we're going to wait till we can hit a stage for that.
Yeah. A lot of our stage show kind of does come from our interactions with people. Like, whereas some bands might be able to translate their style performance more, appropriately into it, like just as the guys were saying, just the way we really do things is kind of a very personal thing. Like, it's there. I'm trying to phrase it in a proper way, but like we kind of bounce off the crowd energy. And I don't think we could give a performance that would be, reflective of what we can give in these circumstances.
There's only so much robot smiles you can see on, like robot smile emojis that you can see on the screen before you realize these people are probably just sat having a cuppa watching us like blurt out sigil at like 220 BPM, throwing our hands into the guitars, and there's people just like very good smile in the chat, and it's just like,
we prefer more like the back and forth energy of like the more energy that the crowd will give us, we'll give it back. Like, so it works a lot better for stuff like that. Like, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't really mind doing like a live stream show or something like that because it's something I've never done before. But like at the same time, like with us having everything that we've got like going on, like it doesn't really seem feasible for us to actually do one.
Yes, that as well.
So you've got a lot coming up. Tell us what's next then. Obviously, you're planning on a new album and stuff, as you said, and you've got other things. You've got something secret you're not going to tell us about. Have you got a video or something like that we can get hold of or something?
Well, for the time being, a lot of the things that we've had to do in January have mean that, a lot of the things that we've had to do in January meant that we had to take a little bit of a backseat from original written material, as we said, because we released Strange and Fiction a little too close to the mark for New Year's exchanges. But what we do have more recently is we released a cover of Light Up the Sky by Van Halen, which is on YouTube and on Bandcamp. We're raising money for charity with that. We're raising money for cancer research with that. We have plans to do videos and things as well, but obviously with everything being as strict as it is currently, we want to be able to make sure that we've got enough time to be able to plan for it appropriately, whilst also not exactly sacrificing the product, because we're very picky about how we want to put our things out. I wouldn't really feel comfortable, doing some sort of haphazard live show between the four of us, like filming each other playing our instruments just to at the back of a song. We'd want to do it with a little bit more gravitas than that. So I think for the time being is we have plans for a lot of these things, but until they're set in stone, we don't want to say, hey, we're doing this, and then let people down when we're like, actually, it probably makes more sense given rules changing that we're going to move to this next idea. But for stuff now, if you guys want to go and support the cover that we've just done in name of the late great Eddie Van Halen, we've just put that up on YouTube. Light Up the Sky is the cover. £5 donations or more put you into one of our giveaways, which you can check the details out elsewhere. And we're raising money for cancer research with that across February.
Well, put the details of your giveaways in now, and we can edit it in for you. So,
sure. If you guys want a chance to win a large blue or red Reaper hoodie, as well as a size of choice for Birth of Chaos shirt and Silent Eye shirt, or alternatively, if the hoodie doesn't fit you, you can also go for a £35 gift code from purchasemerches.com. That's our website for merchandise, because it's hilarious. If you guys want to enter into that, donate £5 to the Bandcamp, which is officialreaperuk.bandcamp.com/releases. All donations towards all other projects will also go to cancer research for the time being, whilst Light Up the Sky will be the one that gets you into the giveaway. So throw yourselves on there, because it's free stuff, and free stuff's good.
Blood free stuff.
We do.
I have actually, I've listened to your cover. Didn't you have somebody else singing on it as well?
Not quite. We had David...
that was the Flight. I think you might be talking about Dakara's version of Flight.
Right, okay. Flight, yeah. So you had somebody else involved in one of your other songs then. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, El, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so the idea we kind of had was we wanted to put out a physical, like, single release post-album for Flight, but we were thinking to ourselves, how do we make this enticing? How do we make this something people want to get their hands on? So we thought, like, and a good way to like try and build bridges with other bands and other scenes. So we thought we'd hit up our mates in Dakar, like their guitarist David mixed a lot of our stuff, and get them to do their own mix of our instrumentals and have their vocalist Emma do a vocal cover over it. So it's like a Dakar mix as a B-side to the Flight single for us.
It was very 90s, getting a remix done.
Yeah. It's probably one of the only remixes that was mixed by the same person that did the first mix.
Yeah. So it's David's got a very David's a home engineer, and he's absolutely fantastic. For anyone who doesn't know, David did the work for Stranger Than Fiction as well. And we back and forth a lot during Light Up the Sky, especially considering for me and Anthony, Van Halen was like a gargantuan influence on our guitar playing. Probably more so Ant than myself, but he was like, when we were getting that solo down, Ant wanted to get that solo like perfect. We spent hours making that.
That was a lot of fun though. Like I had a lot of fun just messing around and cool. Like playing about in the studio. Like,
yeah, it was really fun to put together. And David got that mix. I genuinely think the Light Up the Sky cover that we have, the mix on that, I seriously believe that is David's best mix that I've ever heard him do. It is so super well balanced. But he also did the whole Stranger Than Fiction, and we were thinking, well, great vocalist is his vocalist for Dakara, his band Emma, is now my vocal coach as well. So she's very, very, very skilled, unbelievable vocalist. And yeah, you can hear that as well if you want to grab yourselves a copy. Which also we can get on Purchase Merches because you've got first editions. They're like single digits, so if you want them, you're going to want to get them now.
It surprises me that the Rob Halford Bruce Dickinson mix that you kind of have going on with your voice, that you've still got a vocal coach.
Oh man, thank you. But no, it's I've never done vocal coaching before, and these guys have seen me in some pretty scary situations when I've been singing, when I've not known what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. I remember recording the very first version of Sigil that we did with Adam Abufay, that was later also mixed by David, like co-mixed. And I remember doing the first take of that, and Elliot, Scouse Dave, and Anthony watched me do it, and Scouse Dave genuinely thought like I was going to need to go to hospital afterwards because I was
legitimately nearly called an ambulance for you. Like it was unbelievable. I've never seen anyone shake that much during a vocal take. It was unbelievable. I'm pretty sure I've still got the video of that on my phone, and I'm refusing to look at it because it's horrible.
Elliot filmed it from the front as well, and he was just like, "This is raw as hell."
I was sitting in the vocal booth, for want of a better words, with them just like, is this normal? Like,
Yeah.
is he going a bit too hard here?
Yeah. And turns out it was because the rest of the takes sucked, but we kept the end of it because it sounded wild. And sort of much worse one. When I was doing the vocal take for Entropy on
Oh, bloody yeah. That was scary.
Yeah. I still don't know what that was, but I think it was some sort of pressure-induced seizure.
Yeah, I remember like when we recorded that was the scream at the end of Entropy, wasn't it? And you like blacked out for a second, and then
Yeah.
you came back, and it was like you need to calm down with those vocal screams. You know?
It's because it's very clearly like my technique was putting it in a way that was like tensing the muscles in my neck, which I've been told by Emma. And when she says like she can see that I'm tensing, and it's still a habit that I have that I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time to work out. And I was like, if I do that on stage, like when we hopefully eventually get invited back to play things like Bloodstock, when those things do happen, hopefully, I don't want to sound too arrogant, but like if that happened on that stage, I don't know what the staff
we
would do.
had it happen on the Mcleans stage with Geordie from Bad Earth. He had an interesting moment where he went in for a high note, and then you know how tall he is. It's like 6'7", and he started falling towards the crowd as he was passing out, and then caught himself, and had to sit down for a good while. So yeah, I can understand from the vocal coaching point of view that getting your breathing techniques right is essential.
Yeah, there's that. And equally as well as like, I think this year for us, like last year, we wanted to make sure that people knew, and still it's very much like an MO of the band. We wanted to make sure that it's like, look, if you guys aren't doing very much, or if you're just stuck for things to do, or if you feel like you're alone, we're all very, very strange dudes. All four of us, I'd say, in some fashion. I mean, maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but like, we kind of had a big kind of like ask as to why we love doing this kind of thing. And a lot of it is that it gives us such a huge sense of belonging for this group. And it's a big part of like our identity. And when I, at least personally, and I know I could probably speak on behalf of the other guys as well, whenever we see people who feel like they're kind of isolated or alone and don't feel like they've got anywhere to go to, we want to be like, look, we're all odd buds. Everyone is. Some of them just want to hide it better. We don't. So if you guys want to feel more comfortable, here's the place where you can kind of do it. And we want to make sure that we can include people like that. And a lot of that was down to the fact that was what we wanted to do last year, and it still very much is. But this year, because we haven't had much of a chance to practice, we want to make sure that for when gigs come back, we are like ironclad. So I want to make sure that I'm like in top shape for it. So I want to make sure that I've got someone there who knows what they're doing to tell me why I'm doing well, but not doing as well as I could be. I think the whole deal for the four of us now is like, if we can play pretty well, having not practiced for a long time, imagine what we'd be like if we practiced twice a week.
I've been around for quite a while now, and you've been through various things as a band. What advice do you have for a new band starting out now?
Take control. Like if no one else is doing anything, take the initiative. Say, right, when can you rehearse? Give me your list, give me your roses. Have you practiced this? What are we doing next? Being proactive, I think, is the most important thing you can do. Just as an individual within a band as well as a band itself.
Who's the most organised out of the four of you?
Dan.
Without shadow of a doubt, it's Dan.
There was no pause.
It's just none whatsoever. Yeah, it's done. It is definitely done.
No, but that, like legitimately, that's the thing. Like, you know, there's generally going to be someone in a band that kind of steers it, and like if no one else is doing it, then you've got to step up to the plate and do it yourself. If you want things to be done. Like I have a lot of faith in Dan directing a lot of the stuff we do, so I kind of go off a lot of his schedule stuff. I think we all do to an extent, but like having like a unified outlook and having a roster and a plan that you can all follow and stick to and try and keep pushing yourselves, because stagnation can just kill a band.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're gonna want to do everything that you can possibly do to get your name out there, like for sure.
Yeah,
as well as obviously like making sure that you're on the right track, you're doing the right things to keep yourselves busy and, you know, keep yourselves like relevant, if you like. you absolutely want to be doing as much as you possibly can.
I do think Anthony and I, in specific, out of the four of us, can very confidently say this band is a case study in not letting yourself let life get in the way of bothering you, because the first 8 years of this band was stagnated in a major way on several occasions because of that very thing. And a lot of it now was just me, and a lot of like, I think what makes this lineup so interesting, as I've said many times, is the four of us are extremely different people by comparison to each other. We're all very, very good friends. But on top of that as well, is the four of us know what lack of drive feels like, and we can't hack it. We cannot tolerate like lack of ambition. We just get so weighed down in it. And especially like last year, towards the end of it, I just started getting in a real bad shape. And there are times across this whole pandemic where the four of us have all been kind of bent out of shape, because such is the nature of being kept inside. My advice to any band, the major one that I would get to, is don't make excuses for yourself. The best thing that you can do is learn to turn your problems and environments into opportunities, because if you don't, you will find any reason and every reason within a given scenario for you to not do work. And sometimes you do need a rest, but there's a very big differentiation between proper rest and putting things off. And I have experienced multiple occasions of that, where we both kind of had to spare each other on, and it's what's kind of at least kept this band ticking over right up until the point where we've got 4 people in the band now that won't allow anyone to fall short, because we care too much about each other, and we care too much about this project as a unit.
Yeah. I'm kind of tangenting off that as well, but caring about the unit as well. Like, you need to make sure that the people you're in a band with are like-minded and kind of on the same page as you as well. Yeah. Like, it's all well and good, like starting a band with your mates or something, you're just starting out and do something like that. But if things aren't, working out with someone, then you're gonna have to I think initially approach the issue to see if you can resolve it, and if you can't resolve it, then go in a different direction, someone else.
Yeah. For sure.
It's like relationships, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is a relationship. I mean, there's been people in the past in the band, shall we say, that weren't as committed as Anthony and Dan. And we could see that from an outside point of view. So you must feel now that the progression and having a solid lineup where you're all working towards the same goal, that you're heading in the right direction, and you feel as though you can move on from where you've been in the past and become much more solid, if you see what I mean.
The latter I definitely agree with. The former I'm not entirely sure on, just because the people who we've always had in the band, I'd always say, had some manner of drive. It was just a different drive to a different objective than the one that Anthony and I have always kind of at least consistently had. Because, I mean, again, Anthony and I bear no problem in talking about like our own deals and how we've kind of grown up together. We consistently say that I am dearly surprised that Anthony has not yet twisted my head off like a bottle cap. Like, haven't put up with me and saying yet. Just
don't give him ideas.
But it's, put it this way. We have and this is another thing that I would advise to other bands that are starting out or bands that are continuing and what have you. If there are people in the band that don't have the same sort of direction, there's only so much you can realign that direction before you have to say, well, clearly the difference in people here is just a difference in people that can't be resolved. And that's nothing personal. So I would say the people that we've always had before, people like, Matt and Pete and Kane and even Jim, who was only in the band for like a short while. I'd say they were driven. They were just driven in different ways, and they just didn't coalesce with the thing that me and Anthony wanted to do. And it was just a matter of going, well, if this isn't the direction that everybody wants to go with, we need to sort it out. And that's just the way it had to, come together. It was nothing against any of those people at all. We still very semi-regularly at least speak to all of them, and they're all great dudes. And Ant and I just have we know that this is what we want to do, and we don't really care if it makes us an extraordinary amount of money. We just want to be able to if you're in the music industry to make stupid amounts of dollar, you're in the wrong one. Just going to put that out there now. It is a very, very, very expenditure heavy job. And as long as you're happy paying bills, you can get there with a lot of elbow grease and a lot of hard work. And the music's always been a front runner for me and Anthony, for sure.
I mean, break it even's an achievement, I think, in some respects.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sure enough, it is.
Well, we had a similar conversation with Richie from OMV yesterday, and he was reiterating the fact that, you know, if you are here to make money, then you might as well go somewhere else, because you're not going to be here.
And John James from Master Charger as well. He echoed very similar comments. I mean, it's got to be a drive there. I mean, it's from our point of view as promoters as well. It's not always a case that you're in it for making the cash. You've got to be in it for the love of the music. I suppose the next question then really is, obviously Dan and Anthony been in the band since the beginning. What's it been like for Scouse Dave and Elliot to come into that fold? How easy has it been to sort of bounce off each other and get in between them, if you like?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'd say I don't know, but I guess I'll go first and then let Anthony speak after me. I found it like always pretty easy, to be honest, like just kind of slotting in, because, you know, like when I was first asked to like try out for the band, I was kind of thinking, damn, these guys have been going for a while. Like, am I going to like feel like an actual member of the band or just some lad on the bass for a while? And, you know, there was never that vibe of, you know, hey, we're a new guy. It was always like, well, yeah, you're in the band, you know, you're part of the unit now. So it's always been a very like flat, easy to talk to, very easy to work with kinds of environments. I think within the band, it always has been, because everyone just talks straight, and there's no egos, there's nothing like that at all. It's just, you know, about the art and about having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I first got brought in, like at the time, like I was going through quite a lot of like health issues that stopped me from actually playing music. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because I was in quite a bad place at the time. And when I got that phone call off Dan being like, yo, so are you doing anything? And I was like, well, what are you talking about? He was like, well, are you in a band or anything? I was like, well, no. I was like, at that point, I'd had like 2 years off, like, of playing music. And he was like, yeah, well, you are now. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, you're now the drummer for Reaper. And I was like, oh shit, like this is big. Like this is big. Because, you know, like years and years before, like I'd played shows with them, and we didn't even realize we'd like played shows together, like from when we were like 13. Like we've been, like my band at the time had been on the same bill as Reaper, like, and it was just like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Like this band still exists, yo, it's what in the world? But it made a lot of sense anyway, because I was like, me and Dan already had like a project like from a couple of years back anyway, so I knew that I could slot into pretty much any musical session with him. I knew Anthony already anyway, because like my bands used to play the bar that he managed at the time, so I knew Anthony quite well. Like Elliot, I didn't really know or anything like that, but because he's already like, you know, became like the third cog in the, you know, the wheel. Once I'd then come in, I think, like as Dan like says most of the time, it's like the finding the, you know, the missing piece of the puzzle. And when everything just like slots together and you're just working as like one big cohesive unit, it's absolutely unreal what you can achieve. But yeah, I just like being able to slot in and literally like it's like being sat at like red lights and the green light comes on and you're like, go, and that's it. And everyone's just like, bang, you're on that road. You're all doing the same thing. You're all looking to achieve the same thing out of whatever you're doing. It's unreal. But yeah, for me, like, like joining Reaper was kind of like a blessing in disguise for me, to be fair. But yeah.
Yay! They can put up with my shit for at least another 20, 30 days, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to 20, 30 minutes, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the rest of the Zoom call, we'll see.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, just to wrap it up then, if you can all individually just tell us what's been your highlight about being in Reaper so far.
Oh, Jesus. Do you guys want to go after me, or do you guys want to go before me? Because fuck, I'm gonna have to spend some time on this.
I guess I've got one. Like it's fun. Like it's fun and it's rewarding. Like we were saying before about the you know, who's in it to make money situation. It's like, you know, I'm in a band where I can you know, drive 6 hours to Glasgow, play to 25 people,
Yeah.
like barely get enough to cover expenses and drive back all in one night and love every second of it.
Yeah.
So it's fun and it's rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best part for me definitely is like the traveling, the gigging, stuff like that. Like I'm not really like one for like, oh yeah, let's go and do like massive arse rehearsals and make sure everything's tight. Like, because most of the time that's already the case. Like we're already like quite tightly knit as a group of musicians. So if like highlights for me for sure are definitely like just getting out on the road and like, you know, playing shows wherever it may be, like to however many people, it does not matter. Like just getting out there, having a laugh, just 4 lads, just being like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. It's great.
Go on then, Captain.
You know what? My favorite part's probably just to bully Dan. I'm not gonna lie. That's not the most joy that brings me. That's why I'm put on this earth.
Oh my god. I was born with the sole purpose of making me like want to live slightly less every day.
And I'm glad that I'm able to do it, to be fair.
I love being good at my job.
Oh god.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was really good.
Yeah. You know, honestly, for me, it's the potential. It's knowing like seeing the gap between Birth of Chaos and Stranger Than Fiction was like it was palpable, the difference there, seeing where that was taken to. And then seeing where Stranger's going to go to the disc after this is another big step. And then going to album 3, like going to that major project, like hearing some of the songs from that were built from so many years ago over the course of many different lineups, but then seeing it amalgamate in this huge track we've got planned for it that was, you know, designed by the 4 of us it's very, very, very exciting. There's a lot of things for me personally that like do it, so I won't bore everyone with the details because I know my tendence for going on. But I love knowing that I can step into a rehearsal room with these 3. Oh my god, I've gone again. There we go. Right, okay. I like knowing that I can go into a rehearsal with Elle, Ant, and Scouse Dave. I know that when we come out the room, it's going to be a really, really welcoming experience to know that it's like, god damn, these guys are really good. And also, I also like bullying Dan. That's also great fun.
Hey, yeah.
So, have you got anything else you'd like to add? Obviously, you've mentioned your merch and stuff like that, but is there anything else you'd just like to throw out there?
I guess just reiterating them to please buy our merch. We want to fund our next.
Buy merch. Buy merch.
That's about it. If you think we sound funny, check our music out. It's on all these streaming services and that. And even if you think we're insufferable, do it anyway, so you can tell us that we're shit.
Yeah. Go listen to
if you think we sound good, why? That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Tell them what you like if you like it, and they'll do it more. That's
yeah.
Or if you want to bully Dan, come and join. You call him a wet wipe whenever you want.
Yeah, I fully thrive off of people who like go out of their way to tell us we're bad. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it is the most fun it's some of the most fun I have being in this band is knowing that like we get out into enough people to annoy someone so much just by existing that they have to tell me. And it's like, mate, I get bullied by the 3 people who I work with. This ain't shit. So if you want to come and annoy us, please go and leave dislikes on all of our YouTube videos, especially the weird Dragon Ball Fighters parody that somehow has 6K views. And then also go and listen to us on Spotify and buy our stuff so you can graffiti on it or fucking whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I have got one more thing I want to ask you, and I've asked you a few times, Dan, is when are we going to get the Skid Row cover?
Oh, for God's sake.
To be fair, I'm down for the Skid Row cover.
I'm going to be honest with you, Beanie. I've never even approached the subject with Elle or Scouse Dave, but I think I vaguely remember speaking about it with Ant at one point. Are we going to do one? Because, like,
I just
we
think
could
your
do,
voice
like, I don't see why not.
to do a Skid Row cover.
I mean, I've never listened to Skid Row in my life, but yeah, sure, I'm down.
I guess that's something we can work on for you, man.
What is the shortest song by Skid Row?
I mean, the most famous one's probably like Youth Gone Wild or something. I think we
You've
could do a
Gone
banging
Wild,
version of
Monkey
that.
Business, something like that. Yeah.
Youth Gone Wild. I used to cover Youth Gone Wild in an old function band years ago. It was actually really fun.
I will say this: I'm never covering "Still of the Night." God, great song, but I've like every pub I walked into for like an entire year that had alternative music playing, I'd walk in and see two roughly 25 to 30-year-old women stood on at least one of the tables dancing to that song specifically, and it always kicked off at the same point. It was like that song haunted me. So unfortunately, that's just not a possibility.
That's not Skid Row, so I don't mind.
Okay, cool. Who was it?
I think Whitesnake, wasn't it?
Was it? I'm sure it was. Oh, never mind.
It might
Never
be
mind.
Whitesnake.
Right then, gents. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for
It's been
having
an
us.
absolute pleasure. And hopefully, we'll get to see you all soon.
Absolutely.
hopefully
man,
we'll
Fingers
yeah.
crossed.
Cheers.
Yeah, purchasemerch.com. When the merch is purchased, the purchase gets your merch.
You've done it
Lovely.
quickly.
We actively
Something like that.
and do something hilarious to intro Sigil.
Which one?
Yes, I was going to say which one.
That's it. Just go in from which one.
We are Ringman, and this is our single off our album Stranger Than Fiction. This is Sigil.
Left in noise, driving blind into narcissistic we'll start off. If you can introduce yourselves first, one by one.
I guess I'll go first then.
Yeah,
John James,
go on, John.
guitarist and gobshite vocalist for Master Charger.
All right, I'm John. I'm gonna. All right, John K. I'm drummer for Master Charger.
I'm Dave Hayes, everything.
Great, and so obviously great to see you. You know, it's been far too long. I'm used to seeing you guys at least twice a year, and it's been well over 12 months now, and I'm a bit upset about it.
I don't even know what a drum kit is.
Well, that's not a good start.
COVID's not changed everything.
The main thing that you got going on now is you just got a new logo. What's the story behind that?
I was bored basically, and I thought we needed something new.
I was just going to say boredom.
John's always bored.
No, in all seriousness, we've. I don't think a lot of people realise, but quite a while ago, we got into trouble, and we got our arses spanked for basically stealing someone's font, even though it was on a free site. And believe it or not, it was someone from Birmingham and spotted our poster and traced it back to us and gave us a lot of shit for it. So we finished up paying some money off out to pay them off, and we had a new logo done in a similar sort of idea, but I was never happy with it. It suited the new album, it suited the layout on that, but I wanted something designed from ground up, which Kieran Scott from Ash and Crown kindly did. And I was talking to him and I said I wanted something real grandiose and, you know, big and bold that suited what we do, you know. And he went to work on it and came back with that, and I was we're really chuffed with the result, really. So that's going to be the new logo moving forward.
Very good, and it'll be obviously adorning our chests once the t-shirts all get out.
Yeah, and that was the idea as well, because I thought I need a new hoodie, I need a new t-shirt. Let's sure I do. So, did that.
Well, you did mention the new album there, which came out, and to be honest, it seemed to be a long time coming because you had played a lot of them songs for a while. You know, I remember, I think you played 3 of them at Hammerfest, which was well over 12 months ago. And, you know, definitely worth the wait. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, album recorded well before it released, weren't it? I can't remember how long.
At least a year.
A year, yeah. So that's probably why that's been the case.
I was shopping it round to various labels, and things take a lot of time. And there was quite a bit of interest, but nobody really wanted to jump straight in. And of course, Jeff Leppard, or John Ellis is his real name, probably killed me for that. He got the go ahead to manage everything on Off Your Rocker Records, and that included new labels. And I gave him the album quite a while before. He listened to it and he was really interested. And then he said, I want to make it my first release for Stoned Rocker Records. So that's where we went. And the offer was pretty good. So we took that because we know him, we trust him. And the royalty payments and stuff looked all pretty good. So it kind of went hand in hand. And he even helped us with our first video for Embers of the Sun as well, him and Toby Winch. So they kind of were like on board right from its beginning of its release, really.
Oh, very good. Well, you should mention your video. We'll put that in the content at the end, so make sure you do an introduction for it before you head, before you get off. So with regards to the new album, heavy, real heavy, proper, good doom stuff. If you can't bang your head to it, there's something wrong with you. So tell us a bit about your your influences and your inspirations while writing the album.
Pretty much same as always. It's obviously got the Sabbath vibe, but I think we went for a more live feel, and the songs are more a lot heavier than our previous stuff, and I think the influences. I think the real key to it this time is that all three of us had been playing together for years. Since we did Eroding, where there were different members coming and going.
Yeah, this is just all three of us, isn't it?
I think the influences are same as before, but it's just us three now, and we just wanted to do it, us three doing what we wanted to do.
And we knew we wanted to make it flow better than Eroding, so we took all the heavier parts and all the stuff from previous albums, but wanted to make that flow, make a live feel, make something that we could play live. That's an honest album, and it really is an absolute honest album. We played it pretty much live anyway. When we recorded it, obviously everything was separated, but we played it with that live feel. And if you listen, there's no guitar overdubs under solos or anything. We did exactly what we wanted to do live, and just make it that much of an honest album. So I guess the influences really were just us three, and life. I guess I think that's what it is. I think it's just us three just being hungry for doing what we do, just being locked in a room together, just hammering it down, arguing and ripping lumps at each other like we normally do when we start writing, disagreements and everything. But yeah, it all comes out there, and it's I think it's got a belting vibe, if I'm honest. And I think if people don't see that, then there's something wrong there.
But I think when you listen to it, it certainly does feel organic. Maybe is a good word to describe it, because it doesn't sound like there's anything forced or anything like that. And the lazy comparison is Black Sabbath and stuff like that, but there's a lot more going on in there. And it just sounds like the great album to have on your headphones as you're walking or doing anything, and just boom,
It definitely has quite a range of musical genres, I think, on there. Whether it be like early workings of thrash, some people have listened to. Some of it's quite scary in places, or Metallica-ish or whatever. So especially some of the mid sections where there's a lot of down chugging, a lot of that sort of pace. It's like, for me, it's like taking Sabbath and Celtic Frost and whatever, and just putting it all together into one big melting pot. It's whatever people make it, really, I think.
So the title of the album, Origin of the Lubricus, right? I can't say it. I'm rubbish with big words. I'm a scumbag. Where'd that come from?
I was just looking for a title that summed it up, and rather than, I wanted something really grim, and I wanted another word, and I was just searching through things, and I come across lugubrious, and I thought, yeah, Origin of the Lugubrious. So basically, just origin of a miserable bastard. Do you know what I mean?
You can't say that about yourself and then start giggling.
we're the happiest men in Doom. Don't you realise this?
Do you know what? Everyone I've ever met in Doom is fucking happy, right? And they're happy because they're miserable. It's great. And but yeah, I mean, I love the Albert, so love watching you live and stuff like that. Obviously, pandemic aside, what have you got coming up if real life resumes?
Well, we did have a bunch of festivals, but all that's gone to shit, like everything else. So, yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I mean,
Dan booked us a gig in 2 years' time, didn't he, last week?
Yeah.
He's optimistic if everything turns around.
Yeah, I think Discharge are headlining. It's in Birmingham, so hopefully, if that comes off in 2 years.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Everyone forgot about it when it comes up.
But
because if it has to be cut, we can do that.
I think it's just, I guess we're just writing for another album. I'm just coming up with ideas and riffs, and I hopefully, if there's some gigs come along, then we're obviously going to play them. But I think if we can at least get back to rehearsals until such a time we can go out and gig, I think we'll just carry on writing the next album and hopefully tour them both. Which is, it's a shame because I mean, I think there's only us in the whole world that could get signed to a record label, release a brand new album in a fucking worldwide pandemic.
Goodfor, yeah.
We've talked to a few people in that same situation, and it is.
Oh, it's not just us with shit looking.
It's very frustrating at the time, but the light at the end of the tunnel is you guys and all the other bands will have had this time to write something. So I'm expecting the next 5 years of album releases to be absolutely awesome, because of the time and things like that, and because we've got nothing better to do. If I was talented enough, I'd be writing albums myself, but I'm a useless waste of space. So, but obviously, when it comes to You're Ready, certainly we'll be wanting to get you up to North Wales and stuff like that. Is there anything on the horizons with what was it, United in Fuzz? Are you still involved in anything to do with that, or has that fell by the wayside?
I'm not so sure what's actually happening with that anymore. It's it seemed to get smaller and smaller, so I don't really know. I think maybe that's probably a question for Stop, really, because he kind of got it going. I know I helped out in early stages, but I think we just kind of just found his own thing and just went by wayside with it, But we still get to play odd gig when it happened. But yeah, we're just doing what we do, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, we still talk about that gig because obviously we had you down there with Line of Fire and stuff like that, and obviously it was a great night and stuff. And it's the type of thing we're looking forward to bringing back, if we can. So with regards to the new album that you're working on, what can you tell us about that?
Well, again, it's very early. I've got a few riffs. It's going to be, already can see that it's going to be different to Origins, in quite a lot of ways. Don't really know. You never really know until you get in the room. So, but we've got some ideas kind of planned, and hopefully we'll get jamming and see what comes out of it.
Is John echoing on everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a master charging.
Yeah.
So,
We'll echo in a bit here.
Yes. That's just an example of where we're going.
Yeah. Repeat.
Yeah.
So what about lyrically? Are you going anywhere new lyrically, or?
Don't know yet. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a positive album. What I want to try and do is I want to try and follow on from Origins. So, but you know, whether it's like the death or something, I'm looking for something as a rebirth. So, I think that's where we're going with this. So, I don't know. A positive doom album. How's that one?
Well, that sounds a
bit
bit
more
different.
probably a bit more stoner than we do usually.
Yeah, a little bit more sort of, yeah. But we'll see. We don't know until we get in there and see what beats come out. Who does what?
All WhatsApp ideas at the moment.
Yeah, just record riffs on phone and just send them over to these guys. And I think there's probably about 4 new songs worth, I think, in all, what we've got.
So things are moving quite quickly then.
No, it's take 4 years to record them.
Yeah, we'll just get around to it. Might be quicker this time because we're not gigging relentlessly.
Well, let's go back. Let's talk about you know, your history and stuff like that a little bit. Now, first time I saw you guys was the first Pad Fest when we were down there. You were a 4 piece. Then was it the second one? Was it
4 piece? So. Yeah, Craig played on Craig Rib band.
And the thing is, the thing I remember from that was, you know, everyone loved you. You went over so well and things like that, and everybody that was in the car going home had picked up your EP, or I don't think it was the album at the time.
No, it was Blessed Be EP.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, then when you mentioned to me that you were going to be a 3-piece, I was like, oh, okay, we like what you've got. We don't particularly want you to change. And then saw you on stage later that afternoon. Might have even been Coventry, you know, and you just blew us away. Can you tell how did that come about, the change, and obviously you're very happy with it, and just tell us a bit about how that means to you at the moment.
Well, we'd had Craig in band for a while. We started writing Eroding Empires, and then he left, and Mike, who recorded Eroding Empires, we asked him to join, and then from there he couldn't make every show, and so I had to say goodbye to him, and it's not a great task having to tell anyone, especially a friend, that you know it's not really working out, you know, because going from a 4-piece to a 3-piece to a 4-piece to a 3-piece, I end up changing my playing style, and then end up having to adapt. And then when you've got four a year, you play different again because you're allowing that member to shine through. And in the end, we just said, look, you know, we enjoyed the shows as a 3-piece. I felt we were tighter, and I got sick and tired of people coming and going, and we were already talking about writing a new album. And I think we did one for Sorrow EP, which was the first couple of tracks we'd written as a 3-piece and recorded, which Mike did a good job on that in the end. But, you know, he actually recorded that for us. And he was quite understanding when he left. And going back to being that 3-piece, I think it's something that we just worked on after that. So we didn't lose that heaviness. So, I mean, in fact, I think we're heavier now as a 3-piece, and tighter and more focused than we've ever been. So I don't see a reason.
We did 3-piece. We did it as a 3-piece between both them other members, didn't we?
Yeah.
Even the Eroding album, mostly we finished that off before recording as a 3-piece. So Mike was just a live member more than a recording member when he did come anyway. So it weren't hard to go back to a 3-piece. So that's generally what we've been for a while anyway.
Yeah, we'd done that. I mean, me and John pretty much wrote most of the roading, didn't we? We Kev in band before Dave and Craig decided to join. I think we'd done about half of it. So, and I think that's why it's all a bit different, because we had to go back to rewriting it again to allow Dave's parts and stuff. So some songs, listening back, didn't really work on that album, but you know, that's all by the by. But being a 3-piece live and everything now, yeah, I mean, we doubling up the amps and stuff, and I mean, you know, playing through 2 guitar amps and stuff, and you know, it's bigger, thicker wall of sound. I think that's what we've worked on more. Just everything gelling.
Well, I can certainly say you've not lost any heaviness being a 3-piece, because you are a wall of sound. In fact, so much so that you actually set fire to one of our speakers. What do you remember about that, John?
I think not before that we blew some at all.
Yeah, that weekend I think we played 3 gigs and blown up 2 bass cabs and your PA.
It's quite funny thinking back to it, because we were there sound checking and he just stopped us very calmly and he went, if you can you make your way off the stage very quickly but calmly.
I thought it was a joke.
I did. And then I looked back and I saw the smoke and I went, my fucking guitar, man.
I remember I was outside while it was happening, and we had the guy from Hecatian Throne who was actually there as a punter, and he just turns around and says to us, "We play this festival if your equipment worked." And I'm like, "Ah, what do you mean?" He said, "Yeah, your speakers are on fire." Oh shit, you know. We always seem to find a way to get through it anyway. Another particular story of mine which remembers is Mosh Against Cancer and the Magnet, where we nearly ended up chewing up a sound guy. I seem to remember him not to hit your drums so hard.
He ain't got over that. Look at his face.
No, look, he's still seething. Man, where did you get him?
Put it into words.
Where did you find him?
Well, he unfortunately came with the venue. We did have somebody else lined up, but then a week before the show, the venue said, "Oh yeah, you've got to use our sound guy." And I'm like, "Well, this isn't in place. We've already got somebody." And it's like, "Oh no, you've got to use him or you can't have the venue." So it's like thrown at us. We'd had problems the night before with desecration, and then you know, then the first you guys were the first ones on. You come down to help us out because we had a band pull out, and then you're hitting the drums too hard.
Couldn't get that bass drum, could he?
I said, "Dude, somebody sing for a living. You don't want to piss him off, you know." It's like
I can remember that one, yeah. And he was telling me to turn down then, and I were only using the 30-watt amp that day because I knew it were a small place, and they're still turning it down.
It's one of them things. So
we should have done an acoustic set instead.
Well, do you know what? Next time you come up, especially for Pentre Fest, we're going to have an acoustic set off you.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Dave will release that one.
Let's do it. If we could get Sado playing on bins, you guys can certainly play with, well, anything you want. We'll get you some bongos or something.
We'll be all right.
So obviously you still got the new album out. Do you want to just give all your stuff a bit of a plug? Tell people where they can get it from.
Yeah, we've got a new album out. It's entitled Origin of the Lugubrious. You can get it from our Bandcamp, which is mastercharger at bandcamp.com, or you can get it at from Off Your Rocker Records. And of course, you can find it in HMV. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on eBay. You can find it absolutely anywhere. It's complete worldwide release. So just
all
get
the
out there.
platforms.
And if you can't afford it, steal it. It's fine.
It's not fine.
Not off our merch table, though.
Oh, you can get it from our merch table if and when we ever grace a stage again.
Which I'm sure will be sooner rather than later. Fingers
I hope
crossed.
so. I hope so. Yeah.
Right. Have you got anything else you want to push forward or say?
Just want to say thanks to everyone who's purchased anything from us, whether it be merch, album, or anything during these unprecedented times. I know it's not easy. I know a lot of people ain't got jobs anymore, or a lot of people are furloughed. Any money or any token gesture of anything that people have pushed forward to us, we truly appreciate it. Keeping us on the road. And basically, I just want everybody to look after themselves, stay safe, and look forward to better times. When they come around again, and we hope to see them all safe and well front of stage, and just enjoying ourselves like we used to do, and making these moments that we took for granted, more special. Savoring more of that. I think I said that before, didn't I? The times that we've had in the past, I think we've took a lot for granted. So we need to savor them moments more. So when we all get back out there, yeah. So that's what I want to say to everyone. So stay safe, and thank you very much for all your generosity.
That's brilliant. Thank you for your time. If you can just introduce the video, and also if you can make sure you send it on to Fozzy, and we can play that at the end of the feature.
Yeah, I will. I'll send it as a link on Messenger, to you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support, guys. All right. See you later.
Thank you.
John, you're supposed to introduce your video.
You want me to do the video? You'll have to edit this.
Doesn't have to be you, John. It could be any of the guys, but John Drummer, we can't really hear you very well.
He's a master. Embers of the Sun.
Open grave. classic cooking with fresh at Suey. And can't be arsed cooking? Well, this is the recipe for you. Get some currywurst. First step, there's a little hidden compartment on the back. Do that. There's a little thing of curry powder and a wooden fork thing. Next up, here's the thing. Next, the microwave. Take the film off. Give it a quick stir. Now back in the microwave. Back in for another 2 minutes. Little curry powder on top. And you're ready to eat. Bon appetit. Fucking hot.
Right, and so tonight we're with the main man from, well, we'll call them the Northwest, from the Northwest, as opposed to Liverpool or Widnes or whatever. Main man from OMV, Mr. Richard Scott. How are you?
Fucking awesome, dude. Awesome. Really good. Yourself?
Well, we're always good here at New Metals Productions. So just yourself joining us tonight. Do you want to tell us why that is and why the other guys haven't joined us?
No point is though. You don't need the help around you all the time. Now, to be fair, like we talked about, I decided to just do it myself, mainly because Matty probably should be here, could be here, but he won't say anything because he fucking never does. He's extremely hard working. You might get a out of him. You know, Ben's not really got all the history of all the old shit, and Pete's fucking Pete. If you can get hold of Pete, you've done well that week, you know what I mean? We've lost Pete ourselves many a times, mainly before fucking shows, so...
Sometimes
we lost Pete once on the way to play with Billy Bioacid. We only just fucking made it, you know, that's typical Pete for you, so... I finished work pretty late tonight. It was just easier if I just decided to hit you guys up, so that's what we did. So it's just me.
So you're talking about the history, so should we start there, go back to the beginnings, tell us about the start. Where did OMV come from?
The very start, the very, 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 very fucking start, when we weren't even OMV, we were One More Victim.
One More Victim.
Have we gone that far back?
It's up to you. It's your interview.
Nah, we'll go from the OMV days, you know. Once upon a time, we were called, there was another band, One More Victim, and we were in it. And it wasn't all the same members, not even the same style of music. And I loved the name, and in hindsight, I should have changed the fucking name because keeping a name caused me a lot more issues than starting a new name. But that was bygone days. So yeah, maybe I should have changed the name. I didn't because I loved it, so I just abbreviated it. And then we ended up with OMV, and we changed our style of music completely, but to your absolute annoyance.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thanks, mate. God, someone does. Yeah, man. Because we used to, back in the old days, we used to have like a fucking death metal band with screaming vocals and all that. You know, it was time for a change. Beanie didn't agree. And then OMV was born. Huh?
It's not all about Beanie.
No, you think that? Apparently fucking not, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how this shit goes, eh? So, yeah, fucking excuse me, motherfucker. So, yeah, I mean, OMV came on my release from jail, basically. I wrote a shitload of songs when I was in jail. I completely changed the style and decided, yeah, we're going to sing songs about naughty shit. That's what we did.
So you got two albums out, really, haven't you? Loyalty and Honor and Slammer. A lot of the tracks are the same, just been reworked. Do you want to tell us a bit about the tracks?
Yeah, I mean, we dropped some of the tracks from Lonely and On. Lonely and On was like our first shot at completely changing. It was a completely different lineup, obviously, to the second album. I think Matty was with us. Nick was on there too. Fucking loads of guitar players. Guitar players and drummers, you are a fucking bane in bands' lives. Let me just tell you that shit right now. Fucking nightmare. So yeah, we did the Loyalty or Not. It still had the scratchy vocals on. You can feel the music was coming through on that album, the breakdowns with the and whatnot. So really, that was a demo. It was a demo that I never really wanted to get out there too much. We were just using it to record stuff, give it to people, get gigs, get shows with. And yeah, it should have just been a demo. Somehow people, that shit's still on fucking eBay and all. So like, who's got that album? Who's selling that album? I have no idea where they got it from. I confiscated most of them. You live in the garage, right? I don't let anyone listen to them. Someone's fucking selling them. I don't know where from, but so that was the basis of OMV, and then we took a lot of that. We did a lot of work on the sound, the vocals. I actually went for singing lessons, I still can't sing shit. But I can say motherfucker more clearly. So
And more often.
More often. Yeah, I just replaced all the words on stage. It's motherfucker. Yeah, but we kept a few of the boys there from the first album to the second album, and pretty much all the songs that we do. No, it's not pretty much all the songs we do. Real life songs. Everything we sing about is real life, and that's what OMV do. And on the third album, it'll be no different. I mean, I'm not going to sing songs about fucking dragons and swords and furries and shit. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's what there is. It's shit. But not that there's anything wrong with that. But for me, people who sing about that type of stuff, they've got a really good imagination, and that's fucking brilliant. But the reason you've got a really good imagination is you haven't lived a life, right? And I've got loads of stories. That's all they are. It's not really fucking showing off, but it is a bit. Glorifying what we did and the life that we led. But I've just got loads of stories, and I'd rather sing about real life and things that have actually happened than just fucking running around on a cloud with a fucking dragon waving a stick. That's not for me, that shit. So
you mentioned then your next album. So obviously you talked a bit about your real life experience from prison and things like that. Now your life is very different to what it was then. So what kind of lyrical content are we going to get on the new album? Is it going to be about telling bands, or is it just going to be delving more into your past and bringing stuff out?
Well, I thought long and hard. It's
all about selling vans, isn't it?
This is the thing, right? This is the thing, especially in heavy metal music. I truly believe this from the soul. Anyone who starts a metal band, rock band, fucking hardcore band, all that shit. Anyone who does that at the fucking beginning, you do it because you love music. That's why you do it. Not like these pop bands. Pop bands are pop bands and manufactured bands from the beginning to make money. The fucking end. Metal bands, some of them become rich, become fucking famous, and they get that cool rock star shit. But 9 times out of fucking a billion, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna fucking happen. So you do it for the love of music. Okay, that's the first and foremost. I think with the start of every fucking metal band. But I make a very good living selling bands, right? Heavy metal ain't gonna give me what I fucking got, so therefore I maybe should talk about my bands. Buy a band, Chestnut Band Centre, go to it, man. Finance and everything. But anyway,
if there's any bands that need a van out there, then Richie's your man. We can put you in. He'll sort you out.
You want a tour band? Come see me, man. You want a splitter? We can do splitters, but yeah. So no, it's definitely not. It's not going to be about selling bands. It's going to be similar to the last album. There's going to be some massive differences. The lyrical content's going to be the same. It's going to be the same type of vibe, the same type of shit. You know, I personally think we've got stories people want to hear. We don't scratch the surface of the shit we used to get up to, and the people that we know, the lives that we led. You know, we've done really one small mini album because the first one was a demo. We used some of the songs off the demo to the next one. So now we've got to carry on. We've got to delve into it. But for the first time, look, I'm kind of like allowing other people more input. In the olden days, the way it worked would be I would take a song in, I'd have the lyrics, the ideas down, a skeleton of a song. I would take it in, and the boys would make it fucking better, and that was their job. And Big Carl, he's no longer with us. Not like he's fucking dead. He's left. He was on Slammer. He did a fucking amazing job of I'd take shit in and he'd rework it. He'd put work better notes out and this and that and the other, and the structure. And again, Nick, who's no longer with us because he didn't like fucking touring. Same shit with them. So, but this time round, the boys are finally coming out of the shell, and especially the new guitarist Ben. Knew he's been with us fucking years, but I've started. He started writing some more shit, and we send the stuff over constantly. We have had a few things. It's not really got an OMV vibe to it, really happening. So he's finally taken time to understand I need a certain vibe, I need a certain bounce. But he's a lot thrashier. He's a lot more technical. So yeah, the fucker's making me work, man.
He's got more of a young edge to him, shall we say? Because he's what?
I've got a band full of fucking kids, mate. That's what it is. Yeah, I've got these like 20-year-old fucking kids who just sit at home, play guitar, and fucking play drums all day because they're not out fucking shooting people and fucking taking drugs like we were. We were busy. They're not fucking busy. They're just sat at home enjoying themselves. So yeah, it's a lot younger, a lot more technical, a lot faster. This album's a lot faster.
Halfway drive influence from Ben.
He does like some shit, mate. He does like some shit. But then, he doesn't like fucking Machine Head. Now, Machine Head to me the greatest band on the planet. Machine Head are my band. They are my fucking favourite band in the world. Band. And I love Catharsis. I think it's fucking amazing album. Ben doesn't even like Machine Head, so how he's even in the band, I don't know. And that's sacrilege to me. But then he goes, listen to fucking Halfway Drive. He's a fucking loon, isn't he?
So you just mentioned then you're talking a lot about Ben. It's probably the first time in a long time we've had a stable lineup. Now I know 12 months of that's been in lockdown, so I mean that's obviously been a bit of a help for longevity. But how's it actually feeling now that you have got a settled lineup?
It's frustrating because it took us a very, very like Pete. Even the fucking drummer we got now, Pete, was just on teetering. He was a stand-in drummer and for a long time, and then we had to have a bit of a chat amongst the boys, going, look, let's make this fucking happen. Let's make him become a fucking proper member because we were just sick of having stand-ins, and we decided, we've been to, I think Ben joined us 2 years ago, possibly three, I don't fucking know, 2 years ago. And we just started getting going. We played some big shows. We were planning the next album. We were fucking busy. And then, same as every band, COVID at us, and it fucked us. And it's just been so frustrating. Just before lockdown, we were in the rehearsal room loads, and we were writing lots. And the new style was coming through. The boys are finally having the input. Pete was throwing his fucking insane double kicks over there. So I was like a kid in the sweet shop going, fuck yeah, this is happening. So Ben come out of his shell, and it's just frustrating, absolutely frustrating that what happened. But to finally have a solid lineup since the early days of Slammer it is good. And we've had so many drummers try out, and we've had so many fucking lead guitarists, and it just didn't work. And things happen for a reason, whether we like them or not. And the lineup we had at Slammer, that album worked. I love that fucking album. I think it stands up. I think the quality of it's good, the songwriting's good, everything worked with that. The only problem we had with that is we had 3 fucking members, me, Carl, and Nick, who all had their own businesses. And they were older than me, and they were really struggling getting away. And when you got 3 guys with all businesses in one band and they're all fucking busy, it was just clashing. And Carl lived nowhere near us. He lived 3.5 hours drive away, so rehearsals were a pain. Gigs were a pain, and I must say, I've not mentioned him at all yet. but the pain in my backside, the hard man to communicate with, who's the actual fucking, staunch member of the crew, Matty. Matty's been with me since day one. Matty's been a part of OMB as long as I've been a part of OMB. He doesn't say much. You don't get much out of him, but Matty's just a fucking rock, and I think he's even got OMB tattooed on him. I haven't got that. But so it's been me and Matty since day one, and it finally. We've had it hard, man. We had guys coming in and couldn't fucking play. We were recommending to us. We were wasting time. And you get guitarists in. Me and Matty were teaching him the songs, and so he's had it as bad as me. And the pair of us was like, "Fuck this! This is driving us insane." But at the end of the day, he had the same mental thing as me. As we've got to fucking do this. So I'm lucky to have Matty, really, because he's never wavered. He's never wavered. But yeah, it feels fucking. So the short answer to your fucking question was. Feels fucking good, dude.
I was going to say, because 2019, you started gathering a bit of momentum with you. You had Billy Biohazard and then Skin Dread shows. We obviously booked you to play with Acid Rain for Mosh Against Cancer Chester. Do you feel as though when you come back, you can get back?
Fucking heroes, Med P as well. Fucking. It's frustrating, mate. We really felt like. We're getting somewhere, you're getting in contact more. We did that little fucking tour thing with Not Slip. I know people don't like playing with tribute bands, but we were playing packed out O2s and it was fucking going off, and we were selling shitloads of merch, and people started, recognizing that. And then we had lineup issues that really hurt, really, really hurt. And then we got going again, and we're nailing gigs, and then you got fucking COVID. So we're only going to say about as everybody else. Everyone's got to fight for it. Everyone's got to come back. But right now, it feels good. We were only talking today of getting back in the studio, because some of the studios are open for rehearsal as long as it's all done right. We're working on a new animated video just to get shit going again. We're like a year behind recording our next album, which is going to be called Narcos Heaven. So obviously with a name like Narcos on it, it's going to be a bit about drugs and shit, But yeah, it's just the whole process has just been fucking frustrating. The whole thing, everything about being in a band is just frustrating, and you do it for that 25, 30-minute slot that you get on stage. Man. That's why we all do it, But yeah, it's time to fucking get shit moving again. That's definitely up there.
Hopefully, we're going to try and do it as soon as we get the opportunity to kickstart things again. We will be, and obviously, and we've been saying this to all the bands too. We certainly want you along for the ride. Let's get you back up there as soon as we can. Have you got anything in place that's ready to roll, or as lockdown opens? Have you got shows booked or anything ready to sell, or like you just mentioned your video? Tell us a bit more about your video.
Well, I'll do first things first. We're not booking any shows because I get why bands are booking shows. I get why promoters are booking shows. I understand why people are doing it. But personally, for me, it's just a waste of fucking time. You just don't know what's going to happen. People are booking dates and throwing out dates, and people are putting money in fucking pots, and everything's getting cancelled. I bought Machine tickets 2 fucking years ago, whatever it was that are still sat there. I bought tickets for comedians that we can't go watch, and you never know. And they just reschedule. And I get why they're doing it. And I think book shows that were booked before lockdown, the very first fucking one, I think they should be scheduled. But I think new shows getting put on, and people you're just fucking hoping. You're just hoping. So right now, I just think it's a complete waste of energy. So what we decided to do, just to get shit moving again, is we are doing an animated video for Check-In. It's a song we probably should have done something more with at the time, but we didn't. So we will be releasing that very, very, very shortly. And, it is typical OMV fashion, that video is. That thing's going to be so fucked up. Hey,
who have you got doing the animations?
Some dude called fucking Zach some shit or other. I found him on a Facebook page and the World Metal Facebook thing. And he was just putting on there that he does animated videos, he does this, he does that. So I went on and checked him out and looked at some of the videos. Like, oh, okay, this could work. But then I hit him up and I just said, well, we want an animated video. I've seen your stuff. I like the idea. I like it because we don't have to be there. We don't have to fucking do this and that, and you don't have to shoot a video. We've never shot a video yet. We did another video. We'll go at that one in a minute. So for me, that just worked. And once I gave him the ideas, and he's like, okay, so how do you want it? And I was like, well, it's kind of going to be like a turf war with another crew. And he goes, oh, okay. I said, yeah. So we've got to have like low riders in. We've got to have them things bouncing. We've got to fucking kill them cunts. And he's like, okay. I said, and we got to have strippers. I want to execute all the strippers at the strip club. And he's like, okay. I was like, yeah, we need dinosaurs in that shit as well. Right. And it's just like, so it's going to be an animated video. And just to fuck things up, said, yeah, I want Freddie Mercury in there. Can I do that? Is that copyright issues? It's like, Freddie fucking Mercury, dinosaurs, dead strippers, like OMB. And I was like, okay.
It sounds like it's going to be a glimpse into your mind, to be honest.
You are not the first person to say that. Hence why my kitchen looks like a fucking strip club, And that was my life for a long time, and some shit just doesn't leave it, I guess, right? So, but we did do another video. We did another video. It was just like a lyric video, and it was all CCTV live. Again, I didn't want bullshit. If you're going to do bullshit, this is why I didn't mind the animated video. Make it fun, make it ridiculous. If it's fake, it's fake. Let's do it. But the first video we did all CCTV footage of jail fights and guards and gangbangers, and that shit got banned from everywhere, man. And I was like, that was a fucking awesome video. That sucked. It's like, I get it. You can't swear. You can't tell about real stories. You can't get people punched in the face. But then you go on Facebook and you can watch Facebook Live and cops shooting the shit out of people, and that's okay. So I'm like, okay. That makes fucking complete sense.
Put Discovery on and you get, what's the programs they have on there? And,
well, that was my thing. That was the whole fucking point. You can watch all that shit all day long. But it's the Facebook police, they're fucking nuts. They're fucking nuts.
So your previous video, which is probably what we'll put on after this interview's finished, if we're still allowed to.
It's cartoons. You can't fucking ban cartoons, motherfuckers.
No, your previous one. When's your new one going to be ready?
Oh, I don't know. It keeps getting put back.
We're going to have to go on the previous one then, yeah?
You go and get the previous one. It's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah?
Honestly, I watched that. I'm so proud of that video. It's so good. There was a local guy from Liverpool who did that. He was in the band as well. His band's finished now. I can't remember his fucking name off the top of my head. But yeah, it was a good local Liverpool lad who did that. He really made it with it. But I'm loving my apple juice at the moment. All you guys will start going, but he didn't fucking drink. Apple juice, man. I'm on my third pint today and be fucking flying.
Of course, we've. I can download the video of you and Ben at Pentre Fest doing the carvery room acoustic side.
Oh, the acoustic shit. I enjoyed that, I've never done acoustic stuff before, and it's just like, just want to do an acoustic show. I was like, fuck it. I was really enjoyable because it was something completely different. And Ben can play. Ben can fucking play. That boy can play. So when he wanted to get out the acoustic shit and do that, as you guys know, most metalers, you fucking do that because we want to hide behind distortions and fucking grounds. Like, we'll do that shit. We're open to that,
we tend to enjoy it at Pentre Fest, just grabbing something that's a little bit obscure and saying, go and do that acoustically. And we had it with you guys, Sodomized Cadaver. There's been a couple more over the years that Harken. And yeah, it just takes you out your comfort zone, and it's interesting to watch. But I think you did well with it.
It does, but then you're not going to push yourself. You're not going to fucking learn more. You're not going to be able to put anything in if you don't push yourself. Well, what's the fucking point of that? You've got to push yourself. That's probably not so bad about having a revolving door of members, because you better fucking push yourself and forever learning, and good shit can happen then, can't it? Yeah. But no, I'm totally down with that. I think that's completely cool. When you get to your comfort zone, you got to push yourself. I like that shit.
Talking about the comfort zone, I mean, I've been watching you since day one and in previous bands and all that stuff. I've seen you do a various array of cover versions.
We do like a cover.
So some have been better than the others. But so when you do decide what cover versions you're going to do and stuff like that, what's the thought process and how do you go about picking it? And is it always, well, obviously not all of them have been outside your remit, but some have. So how do you pick which ones you do, and what goes through your head when you're thinking about it?
What we basically do, we like to have 3 or 4 cover songs ready. And 9 times out of 10, when we walk on that stage, we don't know what cover song we're going to play, but we know that we've got 3, 4 ready. And it'll go on the night. So you kind of get a vibe for the crowd. If you've got a crowd, you're on whatever, a bit of an early slot, you're not going to get a sing song. You're not going to, as you know, we like singing fucking Rage Against the Machine, right? But that involves audience participation. If you ain't got them participating, it's a bum deal. You're fucked, right? You might as well not even bother fucking playing it. If you're on fucking late at night and everyone's had a skinful and the crowd are a bit active, then you play that because them fuckers want to sing along. So, it doesn't really go. It goes on what we just think is a banger. We don't get to play all my favourite songs. Otherwise, we'll just be playing fucking like Sheerhead and fucking Biohazard and Slayer on night. So that won't really work. So we know what a bang. We get a banger. We learn how to play. We'll have a couple, and then before we play on our set list, I'll say whatever cover. I'll say to the boys, we'll do this one because I'll get a feel for the crowd. So when we did with the Skinhead show in Dover, we actually played Limp Bizkit Break Stuff. That fucking place went nuts. It's just like, but you got that feeling from the off that these. I mean, we played that set. Name no one in there ever fucking heard us before. We were 2 songs in, and that place was just fucking screaming for it, and they were yelling at us, and it was just like, start the fucking pit. I was like, all right, let's do this shit. So we just decided to play Break Stuff, and an entire room went off the fucking bollocks for it. So on a night like that, playing Redneck there was no need for a song like Redneck, which we play. So if Matty had his way, we'd be doing big long instrumentals of fucking Metallica shit. Don't let Matty anywhere near a cover. Is basically the.
And your Guns N' Roses cover seems to have been put to bed.
Because Carl left, Ben won't play it. We love playing Paradise City. I love playing Paradise City. Again, with that song, right? I mean, everyone will be pissing themselves at this now. Who doesn't know Paradise City? Right, so you're playing with a band, which we have. That's because he fucking does the line little prick. But if you're playing with, like, we play with Diamond Head, right? We play with Diamond Head. Back in a few years ago, we played with Diamond Head. What's the fucking point at playing Redneck or some fucking Killing the Name or Break Stuff with some Diamond Head crowd? You are wasting your time. You play Paradise City. Them fuckers are going to get into it. So you see what I mean? You got to have a load of songs. But I love playing Paradise City. I like Guns N' Roses. I really do. I think they're fucking brilliant. They're like my first crush band, And I think that whole album, apart from Sweet Child of Mine, I'd be happy if I'd never heard that song ever again. That piece of shit. But the rest of that album's fucking killer, mate. Absolutely killer. So, but yeah, we haven't played that since Carl left. We'll never play it again. Ever. That's done. We don't even play it at rehearsals anymore. Even if I started ringing the chords out, they'd ignore me. These fucking kids.
So, as it stands now, have you got anything? Have you got any merch or any of your albums left? And if you have, where can we get them?
We have. We've got albums, we've got merch, we've got all that shit. We've got a Bandcamp like everybody else in the world. We have got a Bandcamp. We haven't really been active on there at the moment because I've just been fucking busy and we've been under this shit. But we're going to start getting active again. We're going to start putting more stuff out. We're going to start working on Knuckles Heaven again really soon. We'll have the new video out, and then hopefully, if get this shit over and get some shows and get back out there, man. I mean, I want to get. We played in London a lot. We went down there with. The last time we went to London with Teeth Grinding and shit. So we need to get back in the loop. Let's get that down south again and just fucking get out and about. There's only so long you can play at home for. You need to be on the stage. It's inside of that shit, so you need to be on the stage. But we will be out putting shit out real soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed, all the shit blows over.
Right. So, as you now considered one of the elder statesmen of the scene, have you got any advice for the younger bands that are knocking around and who will be looking up to you and in need of a guy?
Honestly, if you're joining a kick-ass band just to get pussy, just hit him on the head with a guitar, man. It's a lot faster. Being a fucking band is hard work, never ending, fucking bollocks. Honest to God, mate. If you've got your heart's got to be in it. If your heart's not in it and your drive's not in, you're wasting your fucking time. Seriously. Honest to fucking God. It is being in a band is the most fucking stressful thing, and trying to organise everything and just it's a pain in the ass. But Stick, I honestly don't believe in once you played so many shows. I think this is where a lot of, obviously me and another band we know quite well, we have opposite ways of thinking because they tore their asses off, absolute fucking ass. What's the fucking the boys from Witch Tripper? Witch Tripper are an amazing band, but we have different ideas. And Witch Tripper played more shows than any band on this fucking planet. I haven't got the time to play every show in the world, and perhaps off to them, man. I don't know how to get it. But I think at a certain age, you need to practice it and get that shit underneath you, get your songwriting skills, get on stage, get rid of your stage fright, start building your confidence on that. But then once you've done all that, you know, you can overplay shit. You can overplay shit in local areas. There's just better ways of doing it. And these kids nowadays are all this. Like, this is my first ever Zoom call. That's all fucking far behind in the world, right? But, you know, if they use the social media right and whatnot, you can do a lot of it themselves without having to play a billion shows, because a lot of bands when they first start off have no money. That is the biggest thing that drives me mental in a band. They have no money, yet promoters will expect them to drive for 3 fucking hours with all the gear and all that shit. Luckily, if they get one fucking drink and then get home again, but that band's, that's all their money gone for the week. And the next week they'll be out doing it again, next week they'll be out doing it again. No, you do, you're feeding fucking greedy promoters who don't want to give you a beat. And I just think that sucks. I just think there's better ways of doing it. Obviously, I haven't nailed that better way down because we ain't fucking making millions out of music. But, you know, I just think there's better ways of doing it. And it's not all about, let's just fucking do a video, let's just get stuff out there. And, you know, we rush loyalty and honour. And I think that's what a lot of bands do, because you're eager to get something out, but the quality's not there. So you have to end up going back and spending even more money redoing what you already fucking did or what you should have done in the first place. So just be a bit wiser as well. Yeah, just practice is the biggest thing. Practice, songwriting skills. I have laws in songwriting. Every song has to have a verse, it has to have a chorus, it has to have a fucking breakdown, right? That's just the way I think songs should fucking be. Yeah. Hi, I'm Richie from OMV. This is Shotgun. Fucking enjoy.
Hi everyone, this is Danny from Powerzone on Scotland Rocks Radio, Saturdays at 9 PM. Just a quick shout out to Fozzie, Beanie and the North East Wales Metal Production Gang. I'm really missing Pentre Fest this year. It's usually the highlight of the local metal calendar for me. It's such an awesome lineup every year and I'm very sad that it's not going ahead. I can't wait until we're all back together again, hopefully in 2022. See you all there.
Hi guys, this is J&J from the 0161 here in Manchester. We just want to give a massive shout out to Beanie and Fozzie from Pentre Fest. Now, Pentre Fest is amazing. Me and Jamie were very fortunate to be there from day one back in 2017. We would have been there this month, however COVID put a stop to that. But we will be there next year, which will be the official 4th year of Pentre Fest. Now, Pentre Fest is amazing. It's perfectly well run. It's a great venue.
Great lineups.
Always a great lineup. We've enjoyed every year that we've been there.
It's just,
it's amazing. So we just want to make sure
it's
that you
just
guys.
You can't even describe it because it's that
It's
good.
that good. We just want to make sure that you guys get your tickets. Come and join us. Come and join the All 61. Come and join the North East Wales Metal Production.
A laugh,
crew.
shenanigans.
Yeah, and we'll all have a good beer and we'll have a laugh. All right, guys. Love you all, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.